Fever will have over 600,000 fans in attendance total this year, and the second best to that was in 1999 with the Washington Mystics. And any other team, not only this year in 2024, you can see the Liberty are third on this list, and the Liberty are third, fourth, and fifth on this list, but those are the only two teams that are in 2024. 600,000, breaking that record by that much. That's why it's so crazy to me when people try to deny the fact that the WNBA is growing. This attendance is crazy.
The Indiana Fever didn't just break the WNBA attendance record, they shattered it, stomped on the pieces, then set those pieces on fire. We're talking 600,000 fans, folks. Want to know how they did it? Stick around. Remember when we said Clark's impact was massive? Well, that was an understatement. What if I told you one player could turn a struggling team into a record-breaking powerhouse overnight? The numbers are in, and they're mind-blowing. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video. Caitlin Clark's arrival in Indiana didn't just make waves, it created a tsunami. This rookie sensation has transformed the Fever from an afterthought to the hottest ticket in town. We're talking about a team that used to draw around 3,000 fans per game. Now, they're packing in nearly 16,000 every single night. That's not just growth, that's a full-blown revolution. But here's where it gets crazy. Clark's impact isn't limited to just filling seats in Indiana. She's sending shockwaves through the entire WNBA. Merchandise sales across the league have exploded, jumping up by over 500% compared to last year. And when it comes to player-specific items, we're looking at a mind-boggling 1,000% increase. You might be thinking, sure, but that's just because of Clark, right? Wrong. While she's definitely leading the charge, currently the top-selling player in WNBA merchandise, her success is lifting all boats. Other players are seeing their jersey sales skyrocket too. It's like Clark hit the ignition, and now the whole league is taking off. This phenomenon is so significant, it's even got its own name. Clarkonomics. It's not just about basketball anymore.
The WNBA has seen record-breaking numbers this season in viewership, ticket sales, merch sales, and just overall growth of the league. The WNBA has called for growth for several years. Taking a look back at the last 20 years, they've unfortunately been met with a stalemate, but enter 2024 and the Caitlin Clark effect. So if we take a look at this line chart, we can see the dip in 2021 because of COVID, and then this huge spike in 2024.
And the Fever are going to be over 200,000 higher than the next highest total attendance in league history.
Clarkonomics, my friend, Clarkonomics.
We're witnessing the birth of a cultural icon, someone who's single-handedly changing the way people view women's sports. Think about it. When was the last time you saw a rookie in any sport have this kind of immediate, league-wide impact? Clark isn't just putting up numbers on the court, she's rewriting the playbook for what's possible in women's professional sports. And the craziest part? This is just the beginning. The season's still young, and Clark's only getting started. With each game, each highlight reel play, she's not just winning fans, she's creating lifelong supporters of the WNBA. Hold on to your seats, because the WNBA's growth spurt is far from over. Indiana just pulled off something that's making even the NFL nervous. You think 600,000 fans is a lot? Wait till you hear what's happening league-wide. Let's talk numbers for a second. The Fever didn't just break the WNBA attendance record, they obliterated it. We're talking about 600,000 fans packing the stands throughout the season. To put that in perspective, the previous record was set by the Washington Mystics back in 1999, with just over 400,000 fans. The Fever didn't just raise the bar, they launched it into the stratosphere. But here's the kicker. This isn't just an Indiana thing. The entire WNBA is riding a massive wave of popularity. Get this, experts are predicting that 5 to 7 WNBA teams will average over 10,000 fans per game this season. That's a feat the league hasn't seen since 2004. We're not just talking about a comeback, we're witnessing a renaissance. And if you think that's impressive, wait till you hear about the Golden State Valkyries. This team hasn't even played their first game yet, and they've already sold over 15,000 season tickets. Let that sink in. A team that doesn't exist yet is already outpacing some NBA franchises in ticket sales. If that doesn't scream the future is female, I don't know what does. Now, you might be thinking, sure, but can the WNBA compete with the big boys? Well, how about this? Even with the NFL season in full swing, one Fever game pulled in an average of 1.26 million viewers. That's not just holding its own, that's thriving in the face of stiff competition. The numbers are speaking volumes, and they're telling a story of explosive growth. As one insider put it, the numbers don't lie, the league is growing, and so I hope that after this season, the success continues on the trajectory that it is. That's not just hope talking, that's cold, hard facts. We're not just seeing a spike in attendance, we're witnessing a cultural shift. The WNBA is proving that women's sports can command massive audiences, attract serious sponsorship dollars, and compete for primetime slots. This isn't just about basketball, it's about breaking down barriers and shattering expectations. The WNBA's growth spurt isn't slowing down, it's accelerating. But here's the million-dollar question. Can the league handle its own success? As the spotlight gets brighter, so do the challenges. Are you ready to see what happens when a sleeping giant finally wakes up? The WNBA is gearing up for a massive expansion that's got everyone talking. We're not just talking about a few new teams here and there. No, the league is aiming to add 4 new franchises by 2028, bringing the total to a whopping 16 teams. And get this, Toronto's joining the party in 2026. That's right, the WNBA is going international and it's not messing around. But wait, there's more. Remember the Golden State Valkyries we mentioned earlier? They're not even on the court yet, and they've already sold over 15,000 season tickets. That's not just impressive, that's game-changing. It's proof that the demand for women's basketball isn't just growing, it's exploding. Now, you might be wondering what all this growth means for the players. Well, let me tell you, it's not just about more teams and bigger crowds. With increased attendance and merchandise sales skyrocketing, we're looking at the potential for better player salaries and maybe even more games in the future. The players who've been grinding it out for years might finally get the payday they deserve. But here's the thing about rapid growth. It comes with its own set of challenges. As the WNBA gains more visibility, it's also facing increased scrutiny. The officiating is under the microscope like never before, and league management is feeling the heat. It's like the WNBA has been called up to the big leagues, and now everyone's watching to see if they can handle the pressure. This isn't just about basketball anymore. The Fever's record-breaking attendance is sending shockwaves through the entire sports world. It's changing perceptions about what women's sports can achieve. We're talking about a future where women's leagues aren't just surviving, they're thriving, commanding massive audiences, and competing for primetime slots. Think about it. Just a few years ago, the idea of a women's sports league consistently drawing 5-figure crowds seemed like a pipe dream. Now, it's becoming the norm. The WNBA isn't just growing, it's redefining what's possible in the world of professional sports. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. The road ahead isn't going to be easy. As the league expands, it's going to face new challenges. How do you maintain quality with rapid expansion? How do you ensure that new markets are as successful as Indiana? And perhaps most importantly, how do you keep this momentum going? These are the questions that are keeping WNBA executives up at night. But they're good problems to have. They're the kind of challenges that come with success, with breaking barriers, with changing the game. And make no mistake, that's exactly what the WNBA is doing. They're not just changing basketball, they're changing the entire landscape of professional sports. They're proving that women's leagues can command big audiences, attract serious sponsorship dollars, and compete at the highest level.